instructional portion of the video. You can get tabs and backing tracks if you go to my website, www.erichaugenguitar.com. Let me talk about the tools I'm using to make the sounds I'm making today. This is a 1995 Gibson Les Paul Classic. I'm using, well, actually both pickups depending on which part of the solo. Going into my pedal board, using my Strymon Deco for some crunch, my Strymon Flint for some reverb, playing through an old, I think it's a 1964 Silvertone 1484 amp, mic'd up with a Rode NTR active ribbon mic. That's what you're hearing. Now let's play around with this solo. Okay, so On the Beach is in A minor, so Neil is starting thinking of his usual 5th fret pentatonic minor. And notice, yes, I am using my fingies, because it does sound like Neil is kind of popping those strings with his fingers, but sure, you could use a pick for this too, just in my quest to be as respectful and authentic to Mr. Young, I'm going to use my fingers too. The first lick is going to start on the G string, on the 7th fret there, and it's just a very staccato. That's all it is, just a simple little blues. 7, 7, 5, 7. And this is neat, very quietly. You can barely hear it. There's a little 8 to 7 on the A string, which is actually notes from the natural minor. And then there's kind of what you call a consequent phrase. If the first thing was the question mark, this is the answer. So that is on the D string, 5. 7 on the A, jump to 5 on the G, hammered it on 5 to 7, and then back 5 to 7 on the D string. So yeah. And then there's a little staccato 5. And he's going to work his way out of this position now, and that's what I think is clever about this very relaxed solo. It very comfortably moves across the fretboard. 5 to 7. 7 to 9, 8, 8 to 10. So that little whole phrase, let's see. So that's all on an A minor, and then there's a little, so he's in that kind of, you could call this whatever extension you want. That kind of little extension in front of the blues scale, which is a good one to know. And that then he's going to be, let's see, he's on an 8 on the B, 8 on the B to 9 back down there on the G, 8 hammers onto 10. And at that point the song switches to D minor, the 4 chord. And so at that moment, Neil is actually playing to changes. He's going to switch his thinking and think of a D minor up here to give him the next lick. So that little lick and quarter note triplets. So there's interesting rhythmical things going on in this, as well as, you know, it's more complex than it seems. So that is on that high E string, 13, 12, 10, 13 on the B, 10 to 12 there, that little lick. And then that's the 10, 13 on the B, because then the song clicks back over to A minor. And then he's going to do very Neil Young things. So he just went from here to here to here. Like, that's cool. And he's going to go higher now. He's going to be thinking, well, I'll show you what he does. So that, you know, you could think of as a couple of things. I catch him doing this a lot he has a lot of songs in A minor. He does it in Like a Hurricane, and I can't think of the other ones, probably Cowgirl on the Sand too. He's thinking of an A minor scale up here that connects all the way to this A here. So that little lick, that's on 15s, slides up to 17, and then goes back down. 17, 15, 12. Again, that's a quarter note triplet. And then this is cool. the song's about to kind of click over into that kind of jazzy change, and so he does. So that's one of those great unison bends, great classic rock maneuver. I have my ring finger on the 15, my middle finger on the 14 behind it, my pointer on the 12 of the high E, and then I'm going to let them ring together. That's the maneuver. Now this is really cool. He goes up, and then in the middle of it he's going to switch pickups. That's really cool. So let's go back to the front of that lick. Switch, and then come down on that 15. And then you get a little 13 on the B, 14 on the G, 13 again on that B, because that's the song just went to C major 7 to F major 7. So yeah, he deftly just comfortably just walks right over that. And you can hear the tone change. It's definitely his Les Paul, because you can hear that Les Paul sound. And then a little like playing out of that minor scale, which is now kind of a major scale. 13 on that B, 15, 12, 15. That little, just a pretty little melody. And he's going to stay on that 12. Just kind of playing around with that note, so that melody there. That's that little melody there. You can kind of do anything that sounds pretty to you there, just as long as it's comfortable and just lands right. So that was for the two jazz chords in the change. Then, boom, song clicks back over to A minor, and he goes back down to the standard 5th fret position. He's going to pre-bend that 7 on the G and do a slow descent on that in quarter note triplets. Yep, yeah, just a blues lick. So that was what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5 and 7 on that. That's the G, and then the D again. And then kind of, which is very similar to kind of his opening lick, so he's kind of enveloping the whole thing. 7 on the, what is that? The A, 5, 7, jump to the 5 here. And that's the lick from the beginning. 5, 5, 7, 5, 7. And the last little thing, that as he's just kind of fading away, walking away from the non-epic guitar solo, that's just a little 3 on the B, slides up to 5, hit the 5 on the high E. There you go. The reason I chose this solo is because it's a great example of just playing free and easy. There's no hot licks really in it. It's just, oh, I need to take a solo. The song is sparse and relaxed. I'm just going to take a sparse and relaxed kind of solo, which I think is a really good lesson for us to think about as guitar players, because we fall victim to this kind of desire to just have all the coolest licks in every solo, when really, what is a solo? Just some pretty notes. That's all it is. So have fun playing around with Neil Young's pretty notes, and thanks for watching.